Welcome, everyone, to episode 8 of the Migtown podcast. As always, I'm producer Tim, and with me, well rested and refreshed, back from Colombia, Drexel.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, we'll do this Colombia show because first and foremost, yeah, that country is awesome. And by awesome, I mean awesome as a person who's from the outside, right? Because people in Colombia obviously don't think it's all that awesome. I promise you.
You sent me pictures. If there is one thing Colombia has an abundance of, it is ass.
It does. There is a if you guys didn't know, ass is our renewable resource. And I didn't know that until I visited Colombia because I'm like, holy shit. I mean, damn.
If a meteor were to hit from outer space, I would want it to hit Colombia because it would just hit all those asses and bounce right back out.
It would. It really would, man. Here's what happens though, man. You go to these kinds of places and you start to realize something. Everything is all about comparison, right? Everything is relative. So when you go to places like that, you kind of sit there and you go, damn, I gotta go back home. And then you think about what home is like, right? It's always shitty, right? Home sucks. Remember, now you didn't think it sucked before, but once you've been to Colombia, you realize quick, home fucking sucks, man. I
I
promise
just
you
don't
that.
know if I would enjoy it as much as you do. Like, you enjoy the
Oh,
food and the
yep,
women
yep,
and the food
yep. Don't forget the
and the
weather.
Venezuelan prostitutes.
They're out there in
You need to
abundance,
talk
man.
about those.
Yeah. We'll get to the whole. I'm gonna run the whole gamut for you guys. I'm gonna go down the line and talk about what you can see down there, what to expect if any of you guys are interested in visiting. And like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and dedicate this show to two individuals who I love and respect deeply. First up is my homegirl Nat, who basically was my ambassador in Colombia since she's Colombian herself, and she showed me around, helped me out with everything. Obviously, she's fluent in the language, blah blah blah. So she made the trip an 11 out of 10, no doubt. And I'm also dedicating this show to my man, Minister Jap, who has been going at these damn German shepherds for longer than anyone cares to admit. I'm going to give a shout out to him because I wanted to give a special thanks to Minister Jap when I talk about the Colombian women and how they differ from the women here in America. And in particular, I'm going to give a special shout out to all the black guys out there in the West, especially in America, who have been subjected to German shepherds for just a little bit too long, right? And what they can expect by dealing with these badass Colombians. So, yeah, shout out to both of them. I want to make sure they got their due.
For those who don't know, clarify what a German Shepherd is.
Oh, that's your stereotypical black chick. Loud, aggressive, masculine,
Obnoxious.
obnoxious, rest in
You know,
bitch
the one
face.
doing the finger.
Yeah. All that neck snapping, finger pointing, finger waving, eye rolling, that bullshit, and always running their fucking mouth. That's a German Shepherd. And the German Shepherds that you see, their only goal in life is to tear down the black man. And that's pretty much it. They don't really have any other real ambition in life other than to tear down black men. And I have told black men to leave these German Shepherds behind.
I don't like the name, though, because German Shepherds are an awesome dog. If you get into an earthquake down in Colombia and a building falls on your head, it's going to be a German Shepherd that rescues your ass.
Yeah, but see, you're thinking too literal. I want you to imagine the face of a black chick before before all the makeup, the war paint, the lace front, all these weaves. Before you put on all that and all the other fake shit they put on. Yeah, the bald heads.
Bald heads.
But before you get to all that, I want you to think about how, like, if someone said, "Hey, man, could you look at a German Shepherd at a glory hole and want to stick your dick through?" You'd be like, "Nah, I'm good, fam." See, you have to look at them as the actual fucking demonic creatures that they are. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go at these bitches, and I'm gonna dedicate a special segment to them specifically, just for my man, Minister Jap. And for those of you who have never heard, his channel is hilarious. If you just go on YouTube and look up Minister Jap, the Streets-Ordained Minister, and man, he's pure comedy, man. If you guys want to see somebody cook up ratchet ass black bitches, aka German shepherds, you just listen to my man Minister Jap. He has other topics too, of course, but yeah, he's just telling dudes to get out there, and he kind of is going toward the black YouTube sector, but he still speaks to all dudes. I mean, you can be anybody and enjoy his content. But yeah, man, great channel. Yeah, one of these days I'll have to reach out to him, and we can go ahead and chop it up right here because yeah, the guy is great. And my phone is finally working. Yes.
Yay. If I remember when I'm putting the episode up, I'll put a link to Minister Jap's channel.
Yep.
I hope I remember.
He's hilarious. He is absolutely hilarious,
You know what?
man.
Comment section, you know what to do. If
Yep.
you see this episode and there is no link to Minister Jap's channel, I don't need to tell you to do this. You guys always eagerly point out my mistakes, but yeah, be sure to let me know. I'll fix it.
Well, you know what, Tim? One of the funniest things about Jap is it is the titles of his videos, right? The titles of his videos are pure comedy, man. Sometimes it's all about the title, right? And he has some great titles. When you see, oh Jesus, I think I just saw something horrible. Oh, you know when you're gonna look.
Get out of the not safe for people chat.
Yeah. Well, this was actually on YouTube, so like I'll give you a prime example. He has he has the Niecy Nash test for black men reveals their Fleece Johnson mentality, right? And that was one of his good ones. And he basically is like, if you find Niecy Nash attractive because all she has is an ass and nothing else, and it's just a big ass, it doesn't mean it's a good shapely ass, right? And you go, but that ass though. If that's all you see and you fail the Niecy Nash test, that means look, man, you're suspect. You have a Fleece Johnson mentality where your whole life is about booty. And we don't want these dudes out here to be booty warriors. You know what I'm saying? So he has some great stuff, man. Like the false rape allegation is the hoes defense strategy, which we all know because Me Too is all bullshit.
Yeah.
Once again, started by a black woman to destroy black men, Tarana Burke, that demonic creature. So we got to make sure that we keep our foot on the German Shepherd's neck. And like I said, I don't want any. Tim, I'm going to reach out to the Ghetto Gagger guys because they reached out to me through Nick. Did I tell you that?
Wait, the Ghetto Gaggers?
The Ghetto Gagger guys.
We'll sponsor them.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Listen, I want them to go ahead and smut these damn German Shepherds out all day, every fucking day, because all they've done to black men is destroy them. Right? Well, they've done nothing but tear down black men since the dawn of time.
And this episode of the Migtown podcast is brought to you by Ghetto Gaggers. Oh, yeah.
And then,
can we put this on? Can we put this on the air?
Oh, guys, this shit is beautiful, man. I'm telling you, I am a huge fan. Those guys do awesome work. Well, do you know how they reached out? So someone at Ghetto Gaggers was listening because I shot them out on like every one of Nick's shows, right?
Yeah.
Because Ghetto Gaggers actually, remember, and it's not that I watch their videos. I'm aware of them, and I've seen facial abuse because they're all the same guys, but the same kind of content, right? Latin abuse, facial abuse. So when I made those Chewbacca sounds, talking about smashing a deaf chick, right? He reached out to Nick. He reaches out to Nick and says they have a website for basically it's like the facial abuse stuff, but for deaf girls. You can't make this shit up.
Hang on. Before we go any further,
yep.
You can't possibly talk about the sound you made on Nick's show without giving us a demonstration.
Oh yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, we're in a place right here where I welcome degeneracy. And oh yeah, there it is. It's deafandabuse.com. It is deafandabuse.com. Yeah, shout out to my guys at deafandabuse.com, Ghetto Gaggers, facial abuse, Latin abuse, all that. Look, shout out to them. Anytime you guys want to come on the show, you can come on and prove the hypocrisy of the BLM movement and all these German shepherds who bash black men all day, but yet get ghetto gagged, and they're doing God's work. So just want to shout out to them. But yeah, so Tim, I was on Nick's show, and I told Nick about the story about a coworker of mine who mentioned something about he was dating a deaf chick, and he talked about how he enjoyed the sounds, right? And then I told him that the only time I ever really encountered a deaf girl who actually was making the sounds was there was a gal in college, right? When my freshman year of college, she was on the softball team. And when she got drunk, she was making the sound. So you always try to imagine, men have the ability to have abstract thoughts. So you start to imagine, if I were hitting that, what would that sound like? And then you start getting this image in your mind, like, yeah, because they can't hear themselves. The reason why, like
Oh God, you're gonna kill me before this episode's over.
the reason why I can speak to you guys right now is because I can hear myself talk, so I know how the words sound. But if I were, and this is not knocking deaf people, I don't want people to think that. I know people get in their feelings, so don't take it that way. Yeah, it's no different than Family Guy making fun of Joe Swanson for being handicapped, right? Like, it's no knock on a handicap. You're just, you're making fun of everybody, right? So the thing is, though, is your mind can go somewhere, and I want people to have a forum to say my mind went there, right? Like when I told you guys about that 2.5 something that I still haven't done yet. And we should live in a society where if you have some random thought, you should be able to express it, right? You should be able to go ahead and be like, yeah, I thought about me, a regular chick, and then a midget chick. You should be able to have those thoughts and openly express them without having to worry about being shamed to death. Fuck that, man. Fuck the shame. But anyway,
Back to
we're gonna get right into
because
Colombia.
I want to. Did you like the food there?
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Actually, I'm gonna go in reverse, but we can still start with food. So first things first, man. Um, the food in Colombia. Like I said, we got Tim. You said we got people in like 63 countries listening to us. Well, if you are in the Western world, America, Canada, United Kingdom, all that stuff. A lot of these places, you wonder why the people are so fucking fat and unhealthy and horrible looking. It's because of the food. You know what I'm saying? And with this processed garbage food that we're consuming. So
Hey, don't knock the processed garbage. I love the processed garbage.
it's so
all right?
bad,
I
man.
go to Subway and I ask for plastic bread.
It's rubber plastic bread. This shit's garbage, man.
I
When
love
you're
that
eating
stuff.
quality
How
stuff,
dare
it's
you?
like your body just knows, and it's one of the first things that you truly you truly recognize about being in Colombia. And for those of you guys who didn't know, like, so I flew into Bogota and then hopped a quick flight to Medellin, which is the home of Pablo Escobar, and you
Is that a
quickly
movie actor?
realize, yeah, right, the actor, but you quickly realize what a difference that quality food makes, because I kid you not, man, when you are eating in America, anyone who's in America, or like I said, UK, the Western world, you eat this processed garbage, you get a stomach ache, you have to sit down, you feel sluggish, or you got to take a shit within 30 minutes of eating it because you're like, oh, dude, I feel weighted down. This stuff is horrible. I shit you not. You're in Colombia, you can eat and just keep moving the whole time. You're just eating, moving, eating, moving. I bet you if people in Colombia may take 5 shits a month. I kid you not, man. They'll go days without taking a shit because they're like, man, I feel so, because their body actually burns it up because it's real food, man. It's good shit, man. Oh man, God, the food was good. Good food, good, like I said, clean. It's just a different atmosphere. And but one of the things I want to tell you guys, just so you know, is about when it comes to like the Wi-Fi and all that, right? And using using the internet in general when you're in these places. Make sure you contact your cell phone provider, if based on where you are, and if you're going to go to these places, because man, the due to COVID, and they take COVID like serious over there, right? Like it's like you get ready to walk into a place, like a restaurant, they check your temperature, make sure you sanitize your hands and all this, and then you get there, of course, with your mask or whatever. But then when you eat, it's like everywhere else. They're like, oh yeah, now you take off your mask and eat. It's like, doesn't fucking make any sense, but whatever.
Funny enough, they
But
actually check your temperature by sucking your dick. Little known fact.
little known fact. Well, one of the things I found that was weird was due to them being so whatever about COVID, all the menus when you go to eat at these places are on that little like barcode app, right? Like so it has like that little barcode thing.
Yeah, the
You,
QR
you
code.
yeah, the QR code. You see it on the phone, on your phone, on your app or whatever, and then you check the menu online. Well, like I said, good thing my girl was with me because if she were not there, bro, I don't know what I'm eating because I have no menu because I have no internet access. So it's like, oof, this sucks. Now remember, I had internet access when I got back to the house to the Airbnb.
Yeah, I warned you about this. You told me, oh yeah, I could do a show from Colombia. I'm like, you're not gonna have the internet to do a show from Colombia.
Oh no. I could is so long as I stayed at our place, right?
Well, why would you do that?
But yeah, it's like I don't want to just be confined to just be like now given now to be fair, I could always just say I can do it when I wake up in the morning or when we get back at night, right? Like you wake up and you say, "Hey, let's do a show," or after a whole day of running around Colombia, you say, "All right, I'm back home now. I have internet access," right? So, but yeah, my internet worked completely fine when I was back at the Airbnb. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, so you would have starved if you didn't have your well, shout out to your friend who, by the way, we discussed this, but you engaged in some salsa dancing. We called it.
Yeah, about that. So, yeah, that one's for Fig Bat. I'm gonna give a special little a little tidbit to Fig Bat when we get to all of my incurred injuries on this trip. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know. You gotta kind of gotta know some of that stuff. Like I said, I had an issue with my credit card when I went there. I use so I was actually using my debit card. Like you have tap to pay or just with your chip. Like the debit card worked. I don't know what was going on with my credit card though, and it could just be because I made a purchase at an airport. You know how that works, Tim. You make an air purchase at the airport. You fly somewhere, you make another purchase, it thinks that it's fraud, right? Because it's like, oh shit, how did you get, two places in whatever amount of time? So that could have been the issue, but just make sure that you guys are aware of that. And also language. Yeah, you're not gonna find too many people out there who are gonna be speaking like fluent English and stuff. So Espanol is gonna be the language of the country out there. So just know that. And yeah. Notify the
So
banks.
I
Yeah.
I just go down there and I go, "Où est le salle de bain?" I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work out for me though.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's why you need an ambassador.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
why
I
you
shouldn't
need him.
go alone. Look, if I went to any foreign country alone, I just I'd look for a McDonald's. I'd go to a McDonald's and order a cheeseburger, and it'd be like, "Look, I'm having Colombian food."
Uh,
Do they have McDonald's in Colombia?
I know they do, but I didn't see it. We were right across the street from a Domino's and a KFC, and obviously I didn't go in either one.
Well, you wouldn't.
I can't.
That's
I
that's
can't
me
eat,
partaking in the culture.
dude. There's no way I can ever eat like something that I get at home while I'm out in a foreign country. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't live with myself being like, oh yeah, I had a meal at KFC while in Colombia. Fuck that.
Chat, don't make the mistake. Drexel absolutely loves his fried chicken, but he can get that at home. Why would you eat it in a foreign country?
Yeah. So Nat teased me the whole trip about every meal was chicken, right? So she'd be like, you don't eat this? And I'm like, look, we've been through this. You have to understand. My whole diet is just chicken. And so, Tim, you would think that everyone would be happy about that, right? Like, because think about it. That makes like let's say you were going to go out and get food for somebody. It makes it easy. You always know what they want, right? You're like, okay, so long as it has chicken and doesn't have mushrooms, he'll be okay. That's it. It has chicken, doesn't have mushrooms. I mean, sun-dried tomatoes, I can stomach, I guess, but I don't like tomatoes either. But so long as you get with those two things, I'm usually pretty good. Tacos, whatever, I'm good, man. So yeah, it was great though. Yeah, food was great, and Yeah, you just know that about the Wi-Fi, the language, and all that. Brush up on your Spanish or something like that. And I will say though, the weather, Tim, this is not for you because you said you don't like things to be so warm, but their weather is the same year round. It's one season, so it's low 60s to low 80s every single day without fail. And I think that there's like 1 month that's supposed to like rainier than others, like, but that's basically it. Like that's their like considered like wetter season. But
Yeah, I'm
oh
more of
god,
like a is it 32? Yeah, that's room temperature for me.
yeah, fuck that. You can have
32
that.
Fahrenheit. For our international listeners, that's 0 Celsius.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at weather and if anywhere to, and it's very low humidity. Also, I got to make sure I say that because I'm one of those guys where I don't handle humidity well, right? Like I can take heat. It's humidity that just kills me. So
Oh yeah, your hair gets all frizzy.
yeah, right. Yeah, hers did. Yeah, it just, dude,
That
it
wasn't
feels
from the
nice.
humidity.
Yeah, yeah, right. Something about Mary. No, but it's really something, you guys, that when you go out and you have a predictable weather pattern, man. There's just something something like I said, and that could be either way, right? Like if someone said, "Hey Tim, if you like it cold, is there a place that kind of has like your preferred temp?" It doesn't matter what your preferred temp is. What matters is it consistently that range, right? Because here in Minnesota, I mean, it changes so much, man. I mean, it can like tomorrow we have a 20-degree difference, right? It the current temp, I kid you not, the current temp as I look, my phone says 7 degrees feels like a -5, right? But if I click next 10 days, you know what the temperature is tomorrow? 38 degrees, right? With a low of 26. So think about it. I mean, you're talking these huge jumps and it's snowing one day, ice the next day. It's warms up like it's schizophrenic. It's all over the place.
Man,
And like,
you have no idea. I live in a Chinook belt, which is a region of the Rocky Mountains where the temperature can rise by as much as 24 degrees in 2 hours.
damn, sounds like
Because
Colorado.
yeah, exactly, yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's the effect of the wind blowing over the mountains.
Yep. Yeah, I lived
We
in Colorado.
in Calgary we call those Chinooks.
Yeah, it's not for me, man. I'm telling you, I
Oh, it
love
fucks with your
consistency.
head. Like if you're like really sensitive to temperature and pressure changes, Chinooks can ruin your whole week.
Oh, absolutely. It was easier for me when I was in Colorado because like the jumps happened primarily when I was there. We're talking about like the winter, right? So when they were happening in the winter, it was usually a positive, right? It went from cold to warm, so it's like, oh well, this is good.
Then it goes
But
back to cold and everything
yeah, and then it
freezes.
goes back to cold, right? Like
You
and
go out to grab the mail and you fucking slip down your stairs.
yeah, man, it's something else. Yeah. Oh, and let me give a quick shout out to our man Phoenix Aram. I'm gonna be on with him watching Black Dynamite. That's gonna be next Thursday, which I believe is a 20. Is it like 26th? Let me make sure I just got these dates right. I got it stored here. Oh, 27th. My fault. It's gonna be Wednesday the 27th. Watching Black Dynamite at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'll be hanging out with Phoenix and so that'll be a good time. It's always good to watch some random shenanigans. So a little plug there for him.
Yeah,
And
he's asked me to come in and record it,
okay,
so I think I'll be in there as well. Hopefully I don't forget.
I'll try to remind you. Like I said, I already have it stored in my phone, so I typically don't really forget things when it's stored in. But yeah, yeah, it's just like one of those weeks, man. Oh, he'll leave a link for people. That's good. But yeah, just letting you guys I'm just kind of running down the things that were there. Culturally, it's still, it's a Latin American country, so religion, which is always kind of funny that I talk about religion because people claim to be religious, but they're doing all the same foul shit as anyone else. So
Oh, we
you
have an
know,
article about that to get to later.
oh, do we? Yeah, yeah. So so
Oh
so
yeah, I
when
got a
when I
good
say
one.
religion is big there, take that with a grain of salt because like I said, it's no different than any other place you've ever been on Earth. People are people. Doesn't matter where they're at, what religious denomination they claim. They're doing the same shit, right?
He walks
Promiscuity,
in
this
with the Bible held in his hand, raises
yeah,
his right
people
hand,
are
and
still
he
doing some of the foul
lies.
shit.
Oh, does he lie? Lying Ted.
Yeah. So make no mistake, man. Like so when I say that, like religion, like it's just what I mean by that is it's a little more like forward, like it's a little more at the forefront. That you'll openly see religious stuff in their world. So yeah, that's just kind of one of those things, man. But the one of the things that I noticed culturally was and this will tie into my next topic, which would be, of course, the women. I know there's people out there who want to know what are the Colombian chicks looking like. One of the things that you'll notice about their culture is the people are moving. You see what I'm saying? Like she's moving. Guys, the girls. I mean, like you don't see fat ass people in Colombia very often. I promise you. You know, so you got to remember if they're eating clean food and they're walking a lot of where they want to go to, right? They walk, they use some public trans and they hop off and keep walking. Whereas in America, fuck, a lot of people don't. I mean, they eat shit food, which makes them fatter because they're all preservatives, right? And then they go home and sit and watch Netflix, right? Like that's the American or the Western way. So that's why
And they drive,
America's
like, they'll drive 2 blocks to pick up a tub of ice cream from
correct.
7-Eleven.
Well, I mean, I know these fuckers are fat, useless, and lazy, but when you contrast that with extreme cold, right? Like we had the polar vortex, you start talking negative, and then you start saying something insane like 55 or 70 or something that's going to scorch you, right? It's going to scorch you, like cold, right? It's like freezer burn, right? When the U.S. Department of Health and Safety is telling you they don't want you outside longer than 2 minutes, well, it doesn't matter how fast you walk; you're not walking anywhere in 2 minutes. Anyone who's been through both heat and cold, and you ask them remember, they have to be impartial. You can't have someone who goes, "Oh, I love the cold, but I love it," or someone who goes, "I just love it to be hot all the time." We're saying someone who's like this. I've been through both, and if I had to take a pick of where would I walk 2 miles in, I'd rather walk 2 miles in extreme heat than extreme cold. Because
Okay,
when
what are
people
we
say like,
wearing, though? Like, if
well,
I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and you tell me to walk in 118 degrees, okay, I'm not totally against it. If I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and you tell me to walk in -40, all
no,
right, I might
you'd
have a
be dressed for
problem
the
with
weather
that.
regardless. No,
Okay,
but
yeah. So
here's
if I have a jacket and a pair of boots or just good, a good pair of lined shoes, oh hell yeah, I'd do 20 mi- I'd do
no, but
20
see,
miles
Tim,
in
you're thinking like a woman
-40.
right now. You keep saying you. I don't mean you. I mean most people. So most people, remember when you ask the question, how many people die of sitting in a heated car or something, right? Not many people. You die of
Yeah, normally it's
exposure to
kids.
cold. Yeah, and it's like the parent tried to do something, right? Like I said, we're talking about adults walking to. So like I said, the scenario remains the same. You are dressed for the weather either way. So if it's hot out, you have shorts and a t-shirt. If it's cold out, you have your wool socks, blah blah blah. But see, here's the thing. It's the wind that kills you, as you know. Anyone who's ever been through extreme cold knows. Cold does not kill you. It's the wind. The
Well,
wind
same
when
with
you
the
start getting
humidity, right?
yeah. For heat, it'd be the humidity that would kill you. But it's like, but 2 miles, even when it's hot and humid, is nothing like 2 miles. We're saying to most people, nothing like walking in that polar vortex shit where they talk about -55, -70, and the wind's blowing. That shit
Yeah, you're
kills you,
talking to
man.
someone who frequently does 15-mile walks in snowshoes in -40. Like I
That's
did that on
you.
Christmas Day.
That's you. I
That's
can't stress
the
that enough.
average
You.
Canadian. Come
No, but here's
on.
the thing.
We love our outdoors. We
But,
love
but
our
here's the
cold.
problem with Canadians. Canadians actually will say, "We do." That's the point. Canadians represent a small portion of the global population, right?
All right, well, you
Small
don't need to
portion.
rub it in.
So when I say the average, remember, most people don't want to live in cold. That's why if you go, if you check a population density chart around the world, most people don't live in the cold. The closer you get to the equator, the more heavily populated you get, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's usually about it. 80% of Canada's population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border, which is
no,
also the
shocking.
warmest part of Canada.
There you go. Shocking, right? Like it's closer to the equator. Like this is true everywhere. You know. Oh wait. So
And Anyways, I think I would be forced to cede the point to you. I just don't get why the average reasonable human has to be a 210-pound black woman versus a lumberjack Canadian.
Right. Yeah, well, it's getting bad all the way around though. But like I said, to get back on point, you just start to really see what goes on with culture. Like because if you have a culture where people exercise, right, and they're walking frequently and all that stuff, and they're eating a diet that consists of clean food, well, guess what? The people are going to be smaller, and if they're smaller, especially with your women, because women are going to be more conscious about their looks, you're going to get more attractive women, right? I mean, you go to America, you're just like, fuck these bro, dude. I always tell guys this, and I've said this, in my other travels. I said, if you took American women, and this is goes back to what I said with Dollhouse Phil, where he talked about Peru. If you were to reverse the sexual marketplace, and you were to flood the UK with Peruvian women, and then flood Peru with UK women, you would see the opposite sex that would be pissed off beyond repair on both sides, right? They'd be sitting there like, "Hey, we don't want these chicks." That's what they'd be saying in Peru. And then the guys be saying, "Oh God, thank God," in the UK, right? To get Peruvian women.
So what Drex is referring to is we recorded bonus episode 2 with Dollhouse Phil. If you want access to that episode, you need to be a member of our Patreon or subscribe star at least at the $5 level. Go ahead, hit it up. We got about 5 hours of Dollhouse Phil
Oh yeah,
Drexel
that was a
content.
great
You know
show,
you love
man.
it.
Oh, Tim, that
Oh,
yesterday
by
was a
the end of
great show.
that, Phil was completely hammered.
He was gone. Phil was
Yeah.
gone. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
so,
he got
yeah. Cooper said UK guys would be in heaven. Also, Dollhouse Phil got absolutely hammered. He was gone.
Yeah, I think he drank that whole bottle of wine while we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
doing the
He
show.
literally he polished off a bottle of wine and like he literally looked like a mannequin sitting in there. All right, Phoenix, we'll get to you. Go ahead. I see he's about to head
Yeah, like
out.
Phoenix is about to have like this huge meltdown unless you answer the question.
So what was his question earlier? I saw.
Having to do with like e-thoughts versus
Oh yeah.
the
So yeah.
Venezuelan hookers and
Yeah, so I got a
escorts.
question. Phoenix asked the question of my opinion of escorts and sex workers in Colombia versus live stream thoughts, right? And he's a medic. He's saving lives. So to answer Phoenix's question,
He saves the
um,
wrong lives if for because he's working at Vancouver. You guarantee he does like 3 OD calls per hour,
oh man, Vancouver's a shit show, man. I was there. I was
especially
there,
Lower
and,
East, like downtown East Side. My God, the I've said this before. It's the only place in the world where you can actually find a pile of used needles.
oh, yeah, definitely, dude. It, Vancouver felt like I was in Portland slash Seattle and San Francisco, like all combined into one. And I was like, oof. And but to answer Phoenix's question about my opinion of like the escorts and stuff. So here's how this works: the escorts look radically different based on where you are. So if you go to Cartagena, um, the girls are gonna look much more like high class. Like they're not gonna look so trashy looking. Like, and when I say trashy, I just mean like they don't have like that overt thought look. Like they have like more of like the we're trying to look like Kim Kardashian. That's if you're in Cartagena, right? But if you're in Medellin, what you end up with is you have an influx of Venezuelan prostitutes, man. Like when I say influx, I'm talking like they literally flood the streets. Like you go to Medellin at night and you're thinking like, oh man, I was having a good day. Show up with that fucker at night and see what happens. You're like, what happened? Where did all these hoes come from? My girl told me that it happened within the last 5 years. They flooded, absolutely flooded um Colombia, Medellin in particular. So what they're up to is the same, right? The sex workers are always going to try to look for you to, show you a good time for X amount in exchange, right? And one of the things I noticed is this is in relation to like live stream thoughts is that if you think about it, female nature is universal. So women are always going to use, when the chips are down, women are going to use their sexuality. They're going to try to trade on their sex, looks, and sexuality to extract male resources, right? this is what they're going to do no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're in Venezuela, if they're in Colombia, if they're in the United States. Like they're going to find a way to do it. So in terms of my opinion of them, I was like, they're just doing what their biology dictates because like they're not going to take a job from a man. You're not gonna have women out there saying, "Oh yeah, I'll go work the fields or I'll go build skyscrapers." They're not gonna do that shit. Yeah. They're too lazy to clean needles. Yeah, OD and
Yeah,
stuff. Oh
we're
man,
having an argument in the chat about no. Someone misunderstood me. I don't mean like there's 2 or 3 discarded needles in a spot. I mean like a 1 foot high pile of discarded used needles because in Canada we have a thing called safe injection sites where they just give you a free needle because they'd rather tackle the AIDS problem and give people free drugs than actually deal with the addiction problem.
correct. San Francisco's the same way. Yep,
Yeah.
exact same
Vancouver
way.
is just a failed version of San Francisco, which is funny to
Pretty much.
say, but it's hard to do.
Pretty much. Which is really pitiful
Anyways,
when you think about it.
you also mentioned something about like Venezuelan prostitutes coming over into Colombia, like into slums.
Yeah. So one of the things that happened is, we ended up going to the slums, and it was really something else because you go in the slums, and of course, this is the same area where Escobar used to recruit, right? And recruit young youth to come over and join his drug cartel. And here we are in the slums, and they have like actually cops patrolling the slums, right? Like every I would say every I don't know maybe 1,000 feet or something, you may see a cop or something. But some of the things you see there are disturbing, right? And the thing that disturbed me the most, besides people looking rough, was the amount of girls that you see that they're just a little too young to be dressed and looking a certain way, and they're a little too young to be holding a baby. I don't know if it's their baby, I don't know if it's their little brother or sister, but it's like sometimes because Tim, you ever notice based on someone's age, you kind of have an idea, right? Like if you see a girl who looks like she's I don't know, somewhere between 13 and 16, right? I mean, you never really know someone's age, but she looks pretty young though, right? And then
Yeah,
you see her with
like
like a baby.
I
You're kind of like,
know who to ID check if I see a certain face, and I'm like, you are not old enough to be 18. You
yeah,
get
yeah,
ID
yeah, yeah.
checked.
Like, I don't know your exact age, but I know you're not old enough, right? And I saw, and I was telling my homegirl, I said, this is actually when we first got to the slums, right? So there's actually escalators there, right? So right as we're getting on the first escalator, I will never forget this, man. There were these 2 girls. She looked like she almost looked like she was like almost like trying to emulate a doll, right? Like with like the doll-like makeup. So like like the pink like blush on her face and stuff, and she was just dressing a little too fresh at that age. And I'm looking at her like, wait, what the fuck? I'm like, this is amazing. She was dressed like a streetwalker, damn near, right? I'm like, see, so Tim, you ever notice you're out and about, right? And you see like a young child, like kind of like walking around aimlessly. Do you notice that everyone starts looking around like, where's this kid's parents, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? Where people kind of look around like,
And you're just kind of
and
standing there, and you're like, do I approach? Like, I don't.
yeah,
What is this behavior where everyone hesitates to approach a lost child because
man, you can get caught up. You can get caught up now.
do they think their kid is like a hook, line, and sinker, and Chris Hansen's got a fishing rod over in the alleyway?
But it could happen. Remember though, and you don't know if the parent is going to show up out of nowhere thinking that you're trying to kidnap their kid, right? Because think about it, you really don't. 'Cause, watch this, Tim. A kid is walking around aimlessly at a department store. You go to try to help them, and let's say you grab their hand, like, hey, let's walk over to the front desk or wherever and try to find your parents, or something, right? Someone may interpret that as, oh, he's trying to steal that kid, right? Now they don't do this with women generally,
No. What I mean, that's not how I would handle it either. I don't walk up and just grab a kid.
no.
The
I
first
just
thing,
mean
the
when you're
first
like,
thing I
hey,
do
have you
is
lost
just
your
be like,
parents?
"Sup?" Like if the kid looks like they could talk, I just, "Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah, but
Where's
man,
mom?"
so many things can go wrong. Like I said, because remember, you don't know what's on someone else's mind. Like Tim, I talked about that on Nick's show, right? I said that if I'm walking and I hear some lady screaming in the alley, or I can see some real shit happening right in front of me. I'll keep walking
Yeah.
because I don't know
Well,
I don't
first
know
of
the
all
circumstance.
women scream exactly like they're being abducted over like getting sprayed with water.
True.
Like,
Yeah.
first
Well,
of all, they
you don't
can't
know,
like I can't categorize a woman's scream. It could
right?
be like their little brother threw a water balloon at them, or they just got knifed in the abdomen. Like it could be both, and you can't
It
tell
could
the
be.
difference.
Well, and one of the things that really gets to me with that is, you hear these horror stories of guys trying to be good Samaritans, right? AKA simp. And they suffer the consequences. Sometimes they suffer with their life. Sometimes it's their freedom. So, sometimes it's monetarily, but it's like there's just too much risk. And it gets, like I said, it gets tough because, when you deal with kids, obviously you don't want anything bad to happen to kids, but it's like, that's how bad the laws have gotten and how bad society has gotten that. Tim, I would legitimately think twice. Like I said, I will sit around and kind of like look to make sure that no one's going to just grab this kid. Like, okay, let me make sure that this kid is, got a parent. Like I will linger. Don't get me wrong. I'll linger and watch to make sure the kid gets their parent. But when it comes to certain situations, like if I see a couple arguing, I don't get involved. There was a time when dudes used to be a white knight and they would get into fuck that. I am not getting stabbed, shot, or maimed because some couple is having a dispute out at the
Oh yeah,
club, out at the bar, out on the street. No
you learn
thanks.
that very quickly when you deal with native couples, because there'll be like 3 or 4 guys there, and then a guy with his girlfriend, and he'll be like beating her ass. You try to step in, all 3 of the guys will kick your ass. The woman will spit on you and leave with him.
Yep. Yep. Well, yeah, remember, usually the chick leaves with whoever the so-called abuser is, right? And this has happened numerous, there's videos all over the internet like that, right? Where here's some girl arguing with some dudes, and that's why when you hear women talk about my ex was abusive, don't ever believe that shit, man. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. And if he was
No, he
abusive,
just yelled at you for fucking up the 7th time after
right?
he told you not to do the very thing you just did.
That you just did. Yeah, 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 yeah. But you gotta remember, when I did when I had to go for my foster parent classes, they talked about that and they said, if you ask, from a child's perspective, they'll tell you something along the lines of, they're always yelling at me. And so when you ask them, to define yelling, like you start saying, okay, are they cursing at you? No. Are they raising their voice at you? No. Are they physically grabbing you? Like, no. It's like, so what is it? In a child's mind, yelling at me means they're telling me I can't do what I want to do. That's yelling at me. Like, mom, I want to go do that. No. It's basically being told no is to in a child's mind, that's I'm always being yelled at. That's how a child thinks. So when you hear women talk about, oh, he was abusive, he's okay, how long were you with this abusive, controlling, manipulative asshole boyfriend? 13 years? Come on, man, get the fuck out of here. Lies. Lies.
Anyways,
But anyways,
any closing thoughts on Colombia?
I would just say that, besides the fact that there's tons of things to see, climb the
Like the
giant
ass.
rock. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
tons
yeah.
of ass.
You gotta tell how brutal it was to climb the giant rock.
Oh, yeah, it was bad, man. I gotta make sure. I remember writing
See,
it down.
it sounds like I was there with you. I actually wasn't. This is our second try at recording this because we had a lot of
Yeah,
technical
right.
difficulties the last time we tried recording this.
Yeah, it was something else because we went to go do this climb this rock, and what ends up happening is you got to understand the night before is the reason why it was so hard to climb this damn rock. I was dying, right? Absolutely dying. And the night before, so you guys can understand what happened, is it was late night, and she calls it the shenanigans started, right? And as in shenanigans started, right?
Yeah.
Tim,
You guys were churning butter is what was going on.
we were churning butter that involved hip
That
thrust,
actually
pelvic
doesn't
thrust from the
sound any
ground.
better.
Yeah. Here's what killed me is that when you do these kinds of activities and you have not stretched, so I didn't do any glute stretch, no nothing, right? Just pelvic thrust after pelvic thrust while lying down, while picking. So I'm lifting up her body because she's onto. So I'm lifting up her weight, right? And yeah, that's fun in the moment till you wake up and you need to climb, and it's bad, man. It was chick telling me she's pregnant. Oh no, we're good on that one. But yeah, it was brutal, man. And the name of the place for you guys to know is Guatapé, Guatape. And I sent some pics to you guys out there in the chat. If you guys want to look that up online for anyone listening, it is absolutely gorgeous. And someone's asking about the monkey double backflips. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Yeah, so what ends up happening is you wind up hurting your body because, as you know, when you're on a vacation, you got to get it in. And she wanted me to tell everybody what happened because she said she's going to give me a whole bunch of shit and troll everyone if I lie. So, Tim, I was on my celibate kick before I got to Colombia, right? So there's the strict no smashing thoughts diet, right? So when I get there, so I got there late that night. That was Monday night, late night. And we get to the place. I go in, and there's a jacuzzi at our Airbnb, right? Or a hot tub, I should say. So we got a hot tub out on the balcony of the Airbnb. And she wanted to make it a point of my sounds and my eye rolls into the back of my head that she says of first time insertion, right? She wanted to make sure that I let everyone know that I went, oh, and had the eyes roll back, and I'm like, here she goes.
You actually smashed in the hot tub?
In the hot tub, out of the hot tub. Hold on, I think we christened everything. I think we were literally everywhere. Hold on, couch. I think there was one.
Okay, well, you don't need to add them up. Do you remember when Nick was talking about trying to smash in a sauna in bonus episode 1?
I do.
That's where I got that. Like I got that clip of Nick going, "Oh, it's so hot."
No. Here's what's wild. Okay. It was hot in the good way the first time, right? It was not hot in a good way after that. It was just fucking hot. And you're saying
That fucking give.
so Tim, here's the thing. Okay, you know how when you watch like when you watch like a romantic movie or something, they make things look sexy
No.
that aren't sexy. So
Look,
if
the only
someone's
romantic
kissing in the
movie
rain,
I've ever seen in my life is 50 First Dates. But it took me like 8 tries to actually watch it all the way through because I kept getting distracted by stuff.
Oh God.
I think that's the only romantic movie I've ever seen in my life.
51st. Is that the Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah, the Adam Sandler one.
Oh,
He bangs the girl that's got like memory loss.
Yeah, Drew Barrymore, no less.
Oh yeah, that's her name.
Yeah.
See, I don't pay attention to movies.
Yeah,
we'll get into something I do pay attention to in a minute, but go on, finish the story.
Well, it was wild, man, because here we are in this jacuzzi or hot. I keep saying jacuzzi, hot tub, same difference, doesn't matter. But one of the things that was funny though is that you're in the hot tub and you're thinking like, God damn, look at that body, and you're thinking like, hey, Hulk smash. It's always sexy until it isn't, because any friction, any motion that you use, dude, your body temperature is going to rise. So you're already in a hot ass hot tub, right?
And then you got a hot ass.
Now you have a hot ass, and her pussy game's on fleek.
I don't get why literally everyone wants to smash in water.
Yeah.
I don't get what that obsession is.
I gotta admit, I'll be the first to tell people, man. It's not that cool in terms of like like logistics, right? Your body position, because remember, you're floating, right? You can't really get a good grip to really sit there and really pound something, so you can't really do much of that. the way they make it in the movies, you notice the water is always like really low, or they're basically standing up out of the water. Like, if you're watching a porno, you'll notice they aren't really smashing in the water. You see what I'm saying? They're not really doing that. So when your body temperature starts rising from all the thrusts, you realize quickly how bad of a decision it is. Now, everything about her is a good decision. Everything about smashing her in that hot tub was a bad decision, especially after my ass fucking cheeks hurted from all the thrusting, right? And Tim, one of the things that I found that was really funny about being out there and hanging is you realize quickly um the beauty of vacationing with someone that you actually want to vacation with. And
Oh yeah. Never go on vacation with your wife. Drex, would you go on a vacation with your baby mama?
Fuck no.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, you
Nope.
would pay the extra money to not go on vacation.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
her. It's like,
You know what, man?
look, if a man in a black suit walked in and said, "You are going on a vacation with your baby mama," and you'd be like, "All right, how big of a check do I need to write to get out of this?"
Yeah. Or I'll just go take me to jail. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and because Tim, I'm telling you, I told this story to Phil in the chat yesterday, but this was the second to last day we were there, and we went to a taco spot in Colombia, and so they're like, it's funny hearing them like you're looking at the menu and they're explaining what Mexican food is, so it's kind of funny to see that, right? You're kind of like, huh, it's kind of weird to see somebody like a tortilla is or a burrito is this, a quesadilla is this. I was kind of like, in your mind, you're kind of thinking like it's a quesadilla. Everybody, oh, that's right. You know what I'm saying? Because you may grow up in Colombia, you may not have ever been to Mexico or know what a Mexican food is, right? So we're sitting there and we're just, you guys know me. I'm sitting there laughing, talking, and we're having a ball, and we're just chatting it up. And she tells me, man, she looks really pissed. And the she that she's referring to was there was a couple who looked like that couple. When someone goes, what does that couple mean? Basically, the girl who is bought and the kind of guy who buys a woman, right? Like, so he's trying to be like the Rico Suave look. And she has, like I said, that plastic Kim Kardashian look. Like the ass is bought, the tits are bought, the lips are bought. Like, so she's just bought, right? Everything about her. And Tim, like I told you in Dollhouse Phil yesterday in the bonus episode, you could see it in her face. When Nat told me, she goes, man, she looks pissed. And so just the way that she was positioned, she could see. I turned to my left shoulder, and I mean, this chick was just mean mugging us. I'm like, so for a second, you're thinking like, yeah, I mean, what's her problem? And then it hit me. She had zero interest being with the guy that she was with. So there's a term in Latin America. I don't know if it's just Dominican only, but they call it the golden cage, where these women think that getting a guy with all the resources is going to make their life so much easier and better, and they wind up getting with these dudes. Like, oh, I'm gonna go get that bag, and they're miserable. And this kind of goes back to something that I tell.
Not
What's
miserable
that?
enough to turn in the Amex Black Card and not go shopping
Correct,
every
correct,
day.
correct, correct, correct. But though, they're miserable enough to envy and resent the people that don't have the black card, but are having fun,
But the women
right?
always envy and resent people having fun. Like
Always,
women
always.
are attracted to the scent of fun so that they can ruin it.
Absolutely. Look at the internet, right? Like who's ruining the internet? It's not well, I guess you could say the beta male, but the beta
The
male is the
simps
same
are.
as a female. Yeah. A beta male simp is the same as a female. So they see you having fun and Neil Cuckman shows up out of nowhere and it's, oh, we're not going to allow that to happen. And yeah, but I got to admit to you though, Tim, there was a sense of that I got of this woman of it was true regret. Like I said, it was part bitter, it was part envy, but I could see the regret in her eyes, like through that angle. Like I said, it literally took me. I looked at her face for like a second and a half. I turned my left shoulder, saw her, kind of looked, I was like, oh damn, and I turned back around. you'd be amazed how much information you can gather from someone. And you remember, and I can tell by her body language, she was not into that dude that she was there with. She just wasn't. And it is kind of unfortunate, and I gotta be fair to the women of Colombia, and just the Colombian culture in general, which is the country itself is poor. Make no mistake, right? Like the average Colombian is not making that much money, right? So the issue there then is that like the women, they have choices, right? They can prostitute themselves any number of ways. They can prostitute themselves on the street, or I guess you could say like in the classroom, right? Or wherever they meet a guy in the club, where they'll say, hey, I'll be his arm candy and let him buy me stuff, but you're not happy though. And that is kind of sad to see, like in Tim, and you talked about with you take a baby mama there. For a guy, it's the same thing, right? Like, you've seen that, right, Tim, when you're out and about in Canada and you see that couple, you can just tell the dude is miserable. Have you ever seen that? Like where you like he literally is like he's like in pain how miserable he is with this wife. Have you ever seen that?
Uh, I don't know too many married people.
Oh, damn, really? Well, I'm saying if you're out and
I'm
about,
just
like
young.
if
I'm
you're
young
just
enough,
out.
right? I'm young. I just I don't pay that much attention to other people.
Oh shit! Someone said every interview with Robin Williams. Man, Robin Williams, I think might be one of the saddest cases of what that's like, because he has that famous quote that the loneliest feeling in the world is not being alone; it's being with someone and feeling alone. And of course, Robin Williams ended up taking his own life later. But it's like, Tim, could you imagine just how sad that's got to be? Like
Yeah,
you're with somebody and you feel more alone with someone than if you were actually alone. Like that's sad though. Like I would say the same thing, like I said, for men or women, like, because, like I can't bash women and say, oh, this chick deserves it because she got with this guy just for his money. But what did Robin Williams get with his girl for? What did he think it was love, or did he think, he probably didn't understand that she was a gold digger, right? He didn't understand hypergamy. So, I'm sure women would be like, oh, well, she just got with you for the money, Robin. But it's like, when you see someone with that buyer's remorse, I tell you, Tim, it really does hurt you. Like, you're having a great time and you kind of look, you're like, damn, man, it's like that. Oof. And but then, you go back to having
Robin
fun, but you're like,
Williams though is like that was a man who had such darkness
oh, absolutely.
inside him, and like his you feel his pain. To him the suicide was the end of a long and painful journey, not the
Oh,
start of it.
absolutely. Absolutely. And the thing about that is it's just someone said he only went through horrible relationships with women. Remember, he lost his close friend John Belushi, and he could have saved him. Yeah. The regret, like I said, the regret is a serious thing, man. Like when you can, like I said, you can see it in people's eyes. Like I love people watching, and I love looking at like dynamics and all that. And we were talking about that. We went to Guatapé on the Rock. Just people watching and just seeing things. And I'll tell you what, though, Tim, it was funny to see people's reactions to Nat and I just being out and about, because she looks unique for a Colombian, and then of course they see my ass and they're like, "Fuck is this guy?" And so
Yeah,
kids
he
have
must have been out
this
in the sun too
perplexed
long.
look. Yeah, right. Well, they have this perplexed look. Like kids just have this like they just have this like bewildered, like, "What is
Well, first of all,
this?"
you're probably the tallest guy there.
Yeah, yeah, I think I was. Yeah, I mean, it'd be like me going to certain countries in Asia. I mean, shit,
Man, if you showed up
man.
in I would never lose you in China. I just got to look for
Oh,
the goddamn street light.
oh man, it's well, funny enough, the same thing happened to my parents when they went to Japan, which is my dad said they were out and about, and this would have been like I want to say it was like 95 or 96. And they're out walking the city or whatever. And he said there was like it was like a class of school kids or whatever, right? And they all were just like staring at him, just like, whoa. And my dad's not tall. He's just they probably had that was probably the first time they ever saw a black guy in person, right?
Oh
And
my
remember, and
god,
this
it's
is
LeBron James.
right. Well, this is before the internet. So imagine before the internet. I mean, you remember in Japan is very xenophobic, and very closed off. So you're only a lot of Japanese people may have only seen other Japanese people. And sure enough, my dad said that these kids ended up wanting to get they end up like basically all like hovering around him and hanging on him and took a picture of him, like or
Okay,
say with him, like they took a picture
go
with him, right?
go to Japan and wear a Lakers jersey, and let's just see how long it takes for someone to ask if you're like Kobe Bryant, or I guess that's a bad example. LeBron
Yeah.
James.
Are you Kobe? Yeah, yeah. Like, if I was
Yeah, are
LeBron,
you
yeah,
Kobe? Wait, whoops. No,
yeah,
are you LeBron James? And
right.
just be like, yeah, yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah.
I'd give you a yen every time someone walked up and asked if you were LeBron James.
Oh, it'd be wild, man. It's well, you know, though, it was just good to be out there. Like I said, one of the things that I noticed of being in a lot of these places, especially as an outsider, is that like you do get a very hospitable vibe. Like, you know, I never once felt that people were feeling some kind of way, or you know, because like I said, in America, because it's home, so you're more familiar, you have more experience, but it's like in a general sense, you don't really feel anything, but like, you know, there's just a certain vibe that you get that you're kind of like I said, you feel they're very hospitable, especially when they see that you can't speak the language. Like, you know, you can just tell they want to help, but like there are people out there trying to exploit gringos, right? And you know, if I were to talk about the things I didn't like I touched on earlier, there's a lot of begging. I mean, you'll literally be like so Tim, you and I are sitting there eating something, and then the people literally just come out of the woodwork like amigo, amigo, and trying to sell you something. Like, dude, you don't just see me like you don't see me fucking sitting here eating? Like, but because
No
we
hablo
stand out,
español.
right? Well,
Get out
and
of
they
here.
just they keep being persistent. And one of the things that I saw was there was a lot of people where like they would have like small children with them. And I wasn't okay with that. Like, if you're gonna be out here begging in the streets, why do you have a 2-year-old with you or something? Like, what are you doing? Right. And this goes back to the issue with the movie Idiocracy, which is like you have too many people who shouldn't be reproducing who are reproducing, right? And like we went to like the where Nat's mom is in the nice neighborhood. Oh, shout out to Nat's mom, by the way. She's great.
What's with you and everyone's mother? Like
I
Mama
know,
Vic
I
too.
know, I know. It's well, you know, I reached out to Mama Vic. I plan to go see her this week if I can.
Oh
So
God, no.
um,
Everyone. Well, you know what, everyone in the chat and in the comment section, you make of that what you will.
yeah. Yeah, I did want to catch her since, like, you know, because I'm on vacation, so it's like, yeah, it'd be good to get meet, because when I finally get time where I'm on vacation without my girl, it's nice to be able to like just travel and just kind of hang out and stuff. So hopefully I'll be able to catch her. But one of the things that I noticed quickly, like I said, with the things that you see out there between like the women, this, that, and the other, and you know, chicks doing monkey double backflips, there's really nice neighborhoods out there too, man. Um, yeah, yeah, I saw that Simpson Cooks. Yeah, they try to tug at the heartstrings. Yeah, I didn't give him any money though. I didn't give him shit, nothing. But yeah, there's not. It's like anywhere else, man. Like never buy into some of this propaganda that people here want to propagate because they want to keep you in the matrix, right? Like, I mean, Tim, you've experienced that where people are like, oh, if you go to this place, it's going to be like this, and then you get there, you're like, no, it wasn't. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man.
Like,
I've always had this like weird right-wing fantasy where if I'm going to give you welfare, then I get to put your kids in military school.
mhm.
And they do 3 years of service.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, you got to have some kind of kickback right there, man, because
I'd have such an
it's
awesome army because we've talked about this. Poor people are the ones who reproduce the most.
yep, absolutely. The poorest and most uneducated people tend to reproduce the most. The people who are wealthiest and most educated reproduce least.
It would be a factory of soldiers.
Oh, of course.
You remember, they're just meat sacks who catch bullets. They don't have to be good at anything.
Yeah, they view them as bullet sponges. Absolutely. Like I said, you know, for better and for worse, that's how the elites view them. Those young boys who go out there and die, man.
Look at it this way: you get a chance to be something, and you, the state, get something in return for supporting these single mothers.
True. Yeah, yeah. You get
That's the
cannon
ultimate
fodder.
power fantasy, right? Is getting some usefulness out of the spawn of single mothers.
Yeah, I mean, because if they don't aren't if they aren't on a battlefield, they're just going to be in the penal system more than likely, as every statistic shows. But Tim, there was a couple of questions someone asked in the premium chat yesterday to get to. I see this is from Lord of Simpson Cucks. It says, I guess I'm an incel, LOL. He says he's married, but just but just don't really care much about having sex. It really pisses off my wife because she can't control me with sex like the average wife would. I gotta admit to you, Drex, Lord of Simpson Cucks, that's actually great because as most guys who are truly aware know, once a woman can't use sex as a weapon against you, she literally loses all power. All, not some, not most, all. And Tim, do you remember Dollhouse Phil touched on that in that episode yesterday? People will have to, those of you who are premium know what he was referring to with uh, things that prostitutes say. But yeah, good for you that you are not like ruled by your libido because, we talked about that when I was in Colombia. Is Nat and I had that conversation. I said, I've turned down so much vagina. It's nothing for me to be like say no. And like I said, I have no sense of temptation. I can go out there and you can show me whatever woman you want. If I don't feel like entertaining, I'm just like, nah, I'm good. Doesn't matter. It means nothing to me. But like I said, no matter how beautiful they look, that they could be saying, "Oh, we're going to do X, Y, and Z." Yeah, I'm good. I don't want anything from you. One of the big problems with what you're seeing going on, and I'm seeing this, like I said, you're not going to see it so much in poorer nations like places like Colombia or Burma or something, but
Or Canada.
or well or Canada. But one of the things that ends up happening is that the reason why I tell women to actually have a stance about something is because it will eventually affect you. So what ends up happening is that now the guys have pulled out of marriage and the marriage rates have completely fucking plummeted. It's over. So now women are like, well, there's women out there saying, well, Drex, I want to get married. It's like you were supposed to have done your due diligence way back when. So when the moment you saw women out here doing bad stuff, you should be like this. We are going to hold them accountable, but they didn't. So I mean, Tim, you're seeing it. I mean, think about it. At your age and my age, most men 100 years ago, 50 years ago, were already married, right? The overwhelming majority. That's not the case anymore.
Yeah.
So people are staving off or just not doing it at all. And I was like, man, for all these women out there who are like, but I want marriage. I was like, the laws, Tim, because the guy's gonna go like this. Yeah, we're cool. We can kick it. We can have sex. We can play house. We can do whatever you want, but we're not gonna do the
Playhouse.
cohabitation.
Oh.
We're not gonna
uh,
we're not gonna do the legal contract with the state. Who said
yeah.
that? Someone said rich and uneducated reproduce for luxury. At this point, the only way for men to go back into the plantation, women who say they are good wives better be willing to fist fight a feminist. Yeah, pretty
Oh
much.
man. You're bad. You're just as bad as any guest on the Dick Show. You getting distracted by the chat.
The chat. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's said that. Well, like I do that on Nick's show because usually like, Nick will be talking about something like we'll be sitting there and like just like reading the chats like these comments they
Yeah.
always enlighten me.
Oh, you should have seen the people who were rolling on the floor laughing literally when Nick did the Mr. Y voice there. The hey Drexy Pie.
Fucking
Mr.
well,
Y.
I told
Anyways.
guys on that show that's a real voice. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that's why it's so funny to me because it's like
That's
I know
someone you
exactly who he's
know.
mimicking. Yeah, it's like so it's like it kind of works as its own in joke between Nick and I, where he's has that stupid fucking Mr. Y voice. It's just like,
I think I could almost pull it off, but I have to practice a bit more. Anyways, so in other world news, last weekend we saw possibly or probably Drew Brees' last game, and it was an
Yep.
ugly one.
Yeah, so you said. I didn't see a single minute of it, so I mean, you'd be better with the recap of that than me.
Well, he threw 3 interceptions, and then
Shitty.
they also had a fumble. So it was 4-0 on the turnover count. Who do you think won the game?
Yeah.
The team that took away the ball 4 times, or the team that gave the ball away 4 times?
Yeah, right. Well, Tim, you and I talk about this in football. That is like the ultimate stat. More than anything is a turnover battle.
Yeah, if you win the turnover differential, you're probably winning the game. And I mean, like, okay, hang on a second. Like 3-2 on a turnover differential. Okay, maybe you could still lose the game if you were 3-2 on turnovers. But I'm saying like 4-0. We
Yeah,
know who won the
four
game if it's four
possessions
to
in
nothing.
football is. Oh, and here's the other thing. You ever notice with turnovers, they always seem to be overwhelmingly in the other team's favor in terms of field position. You ever notice that? Like
Yep.
you threw a pick, or like think about it, when do most fumbles happen? They don't happen when you're on the 1 yard line getting ready to punch it into the end zone. Most fumbles are, you're at like the 30, 40, like you're somewhere kind of in your own territory. Something happens.
Rip the Cleveland Browns because they came within a touchdown of beating the Chiefs. Now, you said this, right? The team that gets the bye is the least prepared for the divisional round. And the
Always.
Chiefs looked flat-footed. Patrick Mahomes got a concussion in
Yep.
very late in the game, so the backup quarterback had to come in. The backup quarterback threw a very ugly pick in the end zone.
Mm.
But the Browns, I think they lost by 6 points. I think it was 22-16. The Browns fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line through the end zone. And now people on the replays have been like, "Oh, that was a helmet to helmet hit." Helmet to helmet hits are not usually flagged for runners. That's more of like more often you see that flag thrown is for defenseless receivers or the lowering your head to initiate contact personal foul. But yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem with the way the game was refereed. I hate when the referees become a part of the game.
Well, I think everyone does. If someone asked you, what are the best refs? Usually, the answer has always been the ones that you don't see, right? Like, if you
Yep.
notice the refs, that means they did a shitty job.
Yep. Oh, and Tom Brady tried to high five a ref too on the game-winning touchdown he scored.
That's
And
classic.
the jokes on the internet are like Tom Brady high fiving his teammate, and it's a picture of him and the ref. Because
Ah,
everyone says Tom Brady gets special treatment from the referees.
he does.
Well, all superstars do. Do you
Yeah,
not think
absolutely,
LeBron James gets a couple of calls
absolutely,
going his way?
absolutely. Yeah, you'll never hear me deny that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Just because you can admit something doesn't mean, like I said, across all sports, right? That's why they talk about the Jordan rules, blah blah blah. Like I've watched. I'll never forget the time I saw Tom Brady point at a guy who was near his legs, and the ref threw a flag, and the guy got pushed into him.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? He literally pointed at him, and it's like, oh, come on. Like, it's. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the reasons why I stopped watching football. I used to be a big football guy and basketball, and like between the rule changes, the diminished quality of play, and then now with all the social justice bullshit, I tuned it out. But I do recall numerous times, man, where Phil, I was gonna say Phil, I would say Tim. There's just some very questionable stuff that's happened on the field, right? Like you kind of look, you're like,
At the end of the day, I just watch. I love watching people give themselves concussions. That's all I like. I love watching the game, and I don't care about all of the stuff on the side. Like they could be like, "Oh, and the National Football League supports Pride for
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
all that stuff's stupid.
LGBTQ2A WTF LMFAO youth out there."
Mhm.
We call that the alphabet soup.
Yeah, yeah, and then now you have what Latin X that no one uses. Stuff's
Yeah.
so stupid.
But again, like at the end of the day, uh supporting Pride isn't going to make Drew Brees throw any more accurately.
Nope.
So I don't care. I don't give a shit. I watch sports for the results. I watch hockey for the fights. By the way, we talked about this. Hockey is like the least cucked sport of the I'd say of the big four, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
NFL,
there's no
NBA,
question.
MLB, and NHL.
Yeah, there's no question. No question.
MLB is like maybe the second least cucked. We
Well,
know
here's
NASCAR's really cucked.
here's what people got to understand though. When you look at sports, the nature of the game is the first thing, right? So like hockey is a collision sport, contact and collision. Football is a collision sport. Basketball is a contact sport. Baseball You can have collisions, of course, like, at home plate, and if you're someone's running for base, but, like, for the most part, the amount of injuries a guy leaves baseball with, he's usually in pretty decent shape in terms of his mind and his body, all things considered, right?
Yeah,
You look
Drew
at a
Brees
football
retired
player.
because he fractured 11 ribs and punctured a lung. When's the last
Yeah,
time you saw a
man.
baseball player fracture all his
Yeah,
ribs and
right?
puncture a lung?
Well, if you think about it in baseball injuries, if you notice, like, they're basically, like, accidental, right? Like I said, a pitcher throws a pitch, the hitter hits it, but before the pitcher can even, like, react, the ball flies into his face, right? Because of basically he has the ending motion of throwing that pitch. So most of the things in baseball, or a guy is running to catch a fly ball, and he's so focused on the ball, not where his body is, and he slams into the wall. But, like, this is all accidental for the most part in baseball. You go into hockey and football, the object is to collide, right? You call that's what you're trying to do. So it's like, you wonder why these guys are so messed up. It's like, dude, they're playing a collision sport. Like, no different than when you see, like, an old UFC fighter from the old days, back when it was before they had any rules. You look at how mangled those dudes are, and their brains are mush. And people, I don't know why Muhammad Ali, looked like that before he died. Like, what, did you see who he was fighting? 15 round bouts in heavyweight.
So the final four for conference finals: Packers, Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. And then we've got over on the other side, we've got the Bills, who I didn't expect to get that far in the playoffs, but they're a legit team. I enjoy watching someone other than the Patriots make it to the AFC.
Right.
Let's share a little bit versus the Chiefs. Um,
Mhm.
my favorite thing to come out of this year's football season is the Bills Mafia constantly putting themselves through plastic tables. That's got to be my favorite thing. I don't know how or why it started, but for some reason, like straight out of the WWE, right? They just body slam themselves through
Are you
collapsible
serious?
tables.
When they win, or what is the
Just
is it
before the
just
game,
because?
after the game, when the
Oh,
ref
that's
makes
a
a bad
thing now.
call.
So that's like that's like their new thing, is
That's the
slamming each
thing.
other wow.
I don't know
I
how
didn't
or why
know
it
that.
started, but it's a real
Wait,
thing.
did that start this year? Was that some other?
Oh, that might have started last year, but
Okay.
it's still my favorite fan thing, right? Like sports have all these weird things. Detroit used to throw an octopus on the ice before their playoff games.
Yeah.
The hockey team, the Red Wings, right? They used to throw an octopus on the ice. Apparently the 8 arms represented the wins that it took to win the Stanley Cup back in the old days. That no
Mhm.
longer applies. You need 16 wins now. Um, but they still throw the octopus. Like they'll just
I've
take a
seen
dead
that.
octopus from like a fish market and they just throw it on the ice.
I don't know how I feel about that. It's cool. It's cool, yeah, but it's like, why an octopus though? You know how it has, like, everything
Yeah,
has, like,
it's
its
not
own
like
little.
Detroit, Michigan is known for its octopus
That's what I'm saying.
dishes.
It's kind of like, why an octopus? What the hell are we doing
It's
here? Like, what?
they got weird traditions, sports teams. But no, we saw like I said, we saw the last game of Drew Brees. It wasn't pretty, but that's a legend going into retirement.
What a trip! What a fucking trip, man.
It was kind of sad to see him like look back into the stadium and he was in the entrance tunnel, going off the field, and he just takes like one last look over his shoulder at the stadium, and it's like, oh man, that he's really gone. That's we're never gonna see him again, at least in uniform.
Well, I mean, that stuff hurts, man. Like, there's people out there who, like, make fun of some of these guys and stuff, and I'm like, you got to remember, these guys have been playing this game since they were, 4 and 5. So, like, this
And
is
in the
basically taking up.
playoffs,
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
Drex, you've been to a playoff game before, right? You played a sport in a playoff game where it's like if you fuck up, you're just going home. Everyone's sad.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Everyone,
yeah.
it
It's
sucks.
over. Yeah, it's over. And I can think, even thinking back to high school. I played college ball, but it's like, if you played in high school and you made varsity, it's your senior year, you lose that game at sections, or you lose that game at state. That's it. That's the end of your career.
Yeah.
And remember,
Um,
everyone starts at around the same age. Everyone plays ball, and or plays hockey, whatever sport you chose. Everyone kind of starts around the same age, right? So you've been playing this game over a decade, and then it just abruptly ends. That's it. If we look at Belichick's Patriots, um, they were never the more talented team. You can go down the line, and the Patriots were not the team when they got to the Super Bowl that had the most Pro Bowlers, blah blah blah. Right?
Yeah, well, actually, the time that they did get the most talented team, they lost. That
Yep.
was against the Giants.
Giants. Yep, against
The
the
perfect
Giants. Yeah,
season.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing, like, that was, like, the one outlier, right? But, like, you look at New England, and even when they got that first title against the Rams in '01, or was it no, that was '02. So
Well, it's fucking Randy Moss catching from Tom Brady. Of course you were going to run. Of course you're going to have a perfect season.
right? But, I mean, you think about just how many things, and this is what I tell people all the time, I go, "When it comes to a one and done format, so many things have to work in your favor." People forget that season, they would have lost to the Ravens, but, Rex Ryan called that timeout, and it gave them an extra play because the New England got stopped. And then the referees, they acknowledge the timeout like they're supposed to do. And then, of course, when they went back out there, and then New England got the first down. So that there you go, right? Like, I mean, so many things happen over the course of a season, man. It just, I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
people say if it wasn't for dumb luck, Tom Brady would have no Super Bowls at all. But
no,
the
that's
opposite is
ridiculous.
also true. If it wasn't for the helmet catch, the strip sack fumble, which ended the game against the Eagles, Tom Brady would have
Yep.
9 Super Bowl rings, right?
Well, well, here's the thing. You can always do those things both ways. They
I
shouldn't have
hate
beaten
people
the
who do that.
Chiefs. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, when people do the whole like, well, if this happened, like, okay, should they have lost to the Seahawks? Yes. Should they have lost to the Falcons? Yes. Like, but then you could argue they should have beaten the Giants. Like, you can always do that. Like, oh, because all their Super Bowls were within one score. So I mean, when you have any type of game, any contest that is a sporting event, that's going to be decided within one score. Well, I mean, you can say that about anybody, right? Oh, you should have done this. Would have happened. That I mean, I don't know. I just think it gets ridiculous. It's like you play the games you play, and leave it at that.
All right. Well, that's enough football talk for the day. Do you have a pick between Aaron Rodgers and the Packers versus Tom Brady and the Bucks?
It's in Green Bay. You know what? I'm actually going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
You're gonna go Aaron Rodgers. Okay. We'll see. Check back in next week. We'll see how he did.
We will. Look, we'll check to see how my hand is doing. Remember, I told you I messed up my hand way back when, Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Do you
Still
know that?
sore.
So my hand got better, right? It got better. It got better. I re-injured it in Colombia, man. I re-injured my fucking
It's all
back.
that fingering you were doing.
It actually was. Yeah, it was that. I re-injured my hand, fingering Miss Colombiana. Real talk. No bullshit.
Oh shit! I was just joking.
No. I'm being dead serious. I actually fucked my hand up, like, for real. Tim, I was doing
Now wait,
better, man.
wait. Hang on a second. If you were to like dislocate a finger inside her, would that make it better for her?
It might be. I mean, she'll be left with the gift that keeps on giving there. But no, here's the thing. You're talking about like ligaments and stuff that got stretched and all that, right? So all that stuff got all messed up. So it just so happens that every time she's always on my right side, which means it's my left hand, and then I'm left-handed, and that's the one I injured. So yeah, it's fucked bad. And she hurt my back. So she made the comment that she goes, you came to Columbia to blow backs out, and then I blew your back out. I'm like, fuck you.
All right. Well, speaking of which, Susan.
Hey, hit us up, Susan. It's all right.
I saw one guy
I
in
know
comments
you're.
who's just like, bro, can you stop talking about Susan for 5 minutes? And it's like, no, you got to realize we're out to save people's channels. All right. We got to make the sacrifices.
Well, I keep hearing that they are nuking all kinds of people, man.
Yeah. The
Hell,
heat
they nuked a
apocalypse, as I called
platform.
it.
Yeah, man. When you can nuke a platform, like, it's one thing to see channels disappear or people to get disappear, but a platform can get nuked, like,
Oh,
before it
yeah,
even
it's
really
terrible.
starts. Like, damn.
Oh, God, it's terrible. But okay, I got a couple of news articles I want to talk about, and then we'll do
Oh,
some
go
viewer
ahead.
emails and call it a night.
Good deal.
So you're talking about the Christian lean of Colombia.
Mhm.
And I saw this
Or
article
Catholic, I
in
meant said.
Racket's server.
Oh, what's that?
The headline is Christian OnlyFans model says her faith will not stop her from stripping down to the tune of $200K a month.
Yeah, women don't possess religion. Um, they don't have any steadfast beliefs.
A
So,
Connecticut model who claims to be a Christian says her faith won't interfere with taking her clothes off for anonymous strangers on the internet. First of all, you know it's a right-wing website with that kind of language, right?
well, here's my thing. When you start to really understand what people view religion as, they just view it as a kind of like an outline, right? Like it's an outline of what I should do, but if I fall short, then this is the reason why I have an issue with grace religions, right? And Christianity is a grace religion. And it's like, oh, you're always forgiven. That's why they call preachers prosperity pimps, right?
Yep.
Back in the day, it was always fire and brimstone because you did something wrong. Now it's, oh, you're forgiven no matter what you do, right? Everything is forgiven. So here's the thing, Tim, you can't blame her for doing what she's doing.
No,
Like, at the end of the day, man, look, these women are going to keep staying on OnlyFans so long as simps keep giving them money.
but you think you go on to christianmingle.com and you think, "Oh, what a beautiful Christian girl."
Oh, oh, Tim, we know better.
Man, the whole fire department's run through her.
Dude, you can ask most people, I'm sure they'll agree. You guys can comment in the comment section. Is the Christian, or we don't even say Christian, is the religious girl not the worst? Anyone who like wears religion on their sleeve, you already know what you're getting. It's gonna be a total shit show.
There's a funny one here from the UK. We'll have to find out if this was Dollhouse Phil's neighbor or not, but
Mm,
Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina-scented candle explodes in living room.
damn,
Set her house on fire, and there was some
damn.
damage. I think it. Well, it's the Daily Mail, so they always sensationalize the headline.
Of course.
Explode is probably not the best description based on what I'm reading. It was more of like, I don't know, a Roman candle, right? Or if you light a box of matches on fire and it just kind of whooshes out.
Mhm.
But yeah, it sounds like they might have fucked up something there. Um,
Yeah, well, yeah. When someone says explosion, they could just mean like something popped real quick, like boom,
yeah.
and they say that was an explosion, like when
Like,
a
you know those
car is
little
vacuuming.
firecrackers you used to light off to go pop, 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 pop,
Yep.
pop? Would you call that an explosion?
Yeah, yeah, we wouldn't, but to sensationalize, we could, right?
Yeah. Anyways, I thought that was funny to bring in. Um,
Who's
see,
buying Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina? Who's buying that?
I want to say simps, but then women are buying it too, and I don't know why.
So women want to smell Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina in a candle scent, is what you're telling me. Let that sink
I
in.
yeah, I don't I don't know. I don't know because I haven't bought one and I never will.
Ugh. God, ugh. It's getting that bad, man. But don't feel bad. I got word from one of Nick's subscribers that just when you thought everything was over with it from the Daily Mail, there's a gender neutral playing cards replace king, queen, and jack with gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah, that's the quartering did a video on that. Let's get to some. We were talking about Christian OnlyFans. We got another OnlyFans email. I kind of teased this when we were recording the bonus episode with all host Phil. Let's bring this in and talk about it.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna call this guy Ed. He's a big fan of the show.
Oh,
This is a
nice.
developing story,
Oh
so
shit.
stay tuned for updates. We're gonna call his friend Fred. So Fred was playing a game called Counter-Strike Global Offensive, CS:GO. I'm sure you've heard of that, right?
Sure.
Playing with some friends, and a woman got put on his team. Now, you know how guys act when a female gamer joins the chat, right?
Yeah.
So they're starting to kind of tease and joke with her and whatnot. Um, to the point where she oh yeah, someone checked her Steam profile and it had a link to her OnlyFans.
No.
but there's like nothing. There's nothing on it.
Hmm.
So they're kind of like talking to her through the game chat, and then her boyfriend starts screaming at her while she's playing because he didn't know about the OnlyFans.
Of course.
Anyway, Fred chats this girl up a bit, and she tells him that she's like having financial trouble, and that she started the OnlyFans, but she doesn't know what to do next. So she asks Fred to become her manager, her OnlyFans manager. So let's put this into context. They've only known each other for an hour and a half. Most of this time was him like mocking her, like all guys do to gamer girls.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, yeah, Fred said he would do it. Would you
Wow.
do it? If you just hit up a random stranger while playing a game and she's just like, yeah, I have an OnlyFans, but I don't know. Could you help me?
I don't know if I would, and the reason why is because these broads have gotten so crazy, man. That you could just wind up like they'll find a way to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, was it gonna be some embezzlement?
Now,
Yeah.
everyone's first thought is, well, I'd do it if she invited me over to Smash. And I'm like, well, no, that's the worst thing you could do because then she could get you on the e-pimping and also me too.
Yep.
You know what these broads, they talk about like the porn industry, oh, they were forced into the porn
Oh,
industry.
dude,
Well,
that
guess
is the
what?
stupidest shit.
The multi-million dollar or multi-billion dollar porn industry doesn't give a shit what some broad has to say about them. But if a broad goes and says, this guy forced me to become an OnlyFans model to sell my body, and you're just a regular guy, yeah, oh man, you're in trouble. You're in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, you're always gonna be the bad guy as a anyone who has a fucking penis. So you're the bad guy, right? So they're gonna
Yeah.
say, "Oh, well, yeah, you took advantage of this poor innocent woman." It's like,
Yeah, I mean, like the way that men act towards a woman who pops into the gaming chat, like you and I, as who are in our 30s, we look at that behavior and we're just kind of like, oh, come on, man.
Well, I'm actually disgusted by it, to be honest with you. Like, just when they're around and they're doing their little spiel, I'm more annoyed. It's just like, just like let me just play my game. Like,
Well, especially if she's a hot woman too. You should never go out of your way to make hot women feel bad. They don't deserve that. They are God's gift to society, all right?
so they
There are
think.
so many women who are not hot that I don't want to ever make a hot woman feel like she's not welcome. But no, that's ripped straight off of the Dick Masterson school of thought, right? That comes. I think that's a thing he said in his book.
Oh, is it?
Like, don't ever tell a hot woman that she's like, you don't understand anything about how stuff works, and you're an idiot and you can't get anything done. It's like hot women don't deserve that. Now, if you're fat and ugly, well, gloves off. But no, but you know what I mean, right? Like, we can't control the way women are going to act, right? No amount of mocking and derision is ever going to stop her from picking up that controller and jumping back on and getting more attention.
I agree
In
with
fact,
that.
quite the opposite. She might actually like getting mocked and derided.
Well, here's the thing. Women like being mocked and derided because then what? They get to now respond in comment sections, right?
Yeah.
So
And
if
well,
you
yeah,
look
they
at that,
go on to IGN and they're like the toxic masculinity in
toxic
video games.
misogyny and this
Yeah.
community. So remember, they're always going to win. Once you understand that, you start to realize there's no point in me playing this game. They're going to win every time. You can't win. Not me, not you, not like I said, it doesn't matter what spectrum you're on. You can say like, okay, I'm an incel. Well, guess what? If you're an incel and you're dealing with women, you won't win. You're a PUA, you won't win. It doesn't matter. Like, if you're dealing with them at the end of the day, you will not win. Period.
Wow, speaking of gamer women, we had an 18-year-old woman write into the show by the email,
No shit.
by email. So, well,
Oh.
there are no women on the internet. So,
Well, of course, of course.
anyways, she wanted to talk about the American education system because it was something
Okay.
on Nick's. Oh, God damn it! Always talking about Nick. You ever feel like you live in a shadow? Someone else's shadow? It's the shadow of his nose.
Yeah. Oh, I live in Nick's in his online shadow. 'Cause like I said, like I lived in the real world for so long that I didn't understand the internet world. So it's like I have no problem living in Nick's internet shadow because like in real
Oh,
life it's just like, hey Nick, like, but yeah,
it's
it's all good to me.
sarcasm, guys. I mean, we owe Nick a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean Nick gave me my start. I always
Most of our subscribers, most of our fans know of you through Nick. Like
oh
we
absolutely,
almost owe him all of our success. Not enough to
oh
give him any
absolutely.
money for it, but
Yeah.
platonically
Yeah,
speaking.
oh, yeah. I'm Luigi. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely Luigi to Nick's Mario, no doubt.
Yeah, you're taller.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this viewer writes in regarding a comment you said about how blacks were actually better during Jim Crow than post desegregation,
Mhm.
which really confused her because students
Really?
were taught that Jim Crow laws were evil. They were a byproduct of the South, unable to let go of their slavery roots. You know,
Mhm.
common knowledge, or so it would seem.
So, one of the reasons why I don't give people like Martin Luther King Jr. too much credit is, you gotta remember, MLK was popular in the South, not the North. It was guys like Malcolm X who were popular in the North because the Northern rhetoric, do you know what Malcolm X was preaching? Segregation. Self-improvement, self-fulfillment. He was telling black people to segregate from the white man's system. It was Martin Luther King who was saying to integrate, right? And if you understand, you go back in history and talk about the Atlanta Compromise and this, that, and the other, where they were telling black people, yeah, yeah, Lord Simpson Cook said, it, yeah, Malcolm X was more for the city blacks, and MLK was more for the country redneck blacks. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, how'd that turn
Yeah,
out for them?
yeah, yeah, not well. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically what it was like. So what ends up happening when you integrate with anybody, assimilate with people, you lose a sense of your culture, right? Yeah, Koopa. Yeah, Malcolm X did call it the white liberals. Yeah, you can actually go on YouTube right now and just look at Malcolm X white liberal, and that will pop up. That it should still be on YouTube.
I'm surprised that didn't get Susan because that's like inconvenient
Oh yeah,
information.
very much. Yeah, yeah. But I just think it's so old and just not. It probably doesn't have 50 million views. That's probably why it
Yeah.
kind of went under the radar. But yeah, look, it's the same thing I've always said about this whole feminist movement, right? I've told guys, I was like, dude, the way that like, you have to do both at the same time. You have to DP or spit roast feminism. You have to starve feminism, right? And gorge feminism at the same time in order to defeat it. That's how you defeat feminism. If you think that you can just ignore it, like, I've heard guys say, "You know what, Drex, I'm just gonna go monk mode, and then when I go monk mode and I have nothing to do with women, then I'm safe." No, you're not. Yeah. Have you forgotten the Salem witch trials? All they'll do is that Me Too under Biden and Harris is about to get put into overdrive, right?
Yep.
And if you don't have any interactions with women at all, none, 0, you're now the village weirdo, right?
Yep.
I mean, now you're just gonna get falsely accused, and you have no one to come in and say, "Hold on, I know this guy. This is wrong." Nope, you're
More
gone.
people are
So,
gonna go the Mike Pence way, right? Oh,
oh,
I
it's
don't meet
coming,
other
man.
women unless I have my wife around.
Yeah. Well, one of the things is that it's gonna be the Mike Pence rule for guys who are already in relationships. But I think that if you're not in a relationship, I
Well,
just think that you're gonna
obviously.
see more guys kind of retreat into their hobbies, which a lot of times is video games and porn and whatever other hobbies that they have.
Uh,
Yeah, that's
porn is not a
happening.
hobby.
Yeah.
The email goes on. Oh yeah, she remembers a history class where the teacher was talking about why Jim Crow was bad and used the education system as an example. Even though the segregated white and black schools were on paper separate but equal, it was not the case in practice. The white schools got more funding, better quality books, better lunches, better education in general, while the blacks got less funding, lower quality. And the teacher said that's why desegregation was so important and why it needed to be done, so it could be equal to all races and one doesn't get more than the other. Now, you know the flaw in that argument, right?
Yeah, there's a few issues with it.
I mean, first of all, are schools equal now?
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like what? Where the hell? Where do you get this idea from? And this was not like this is not a person talking from like a, classes in the 70s. This is someone who got out of high school recently. On what planet do you think that the inner city school in Compton is equal to the school you went to?
Hmm. Well, yeah, remember this is my parents lived through that era, and one of the reasons why it's so important that blacks should have stayed segregated is that you remember it's a cultural issue, right? So what ends up happening when you integrate with somebody in this, or you can call it assimilation, you're going to wind up in a situation where you lose track of your culture. So I'll give you an example. If someone says we're going to integrate with the white schools and blah blah blah, you lose track of what we used to have in the black community, which was the 110% talk. And the 110% talk in the black community basically went like this: you can't be as good as a white person. You won't get the job. You won't get anything. You got to be 110%. You have to be that extra something that, like I said, sports to me is like the easiest thing to, like, that's one of the easiest ways to show it, right? Is if you have a player out there and you have a white player and he's a great player, make no mistake, he's a great player, and you're a black player, you can't be as good as the white player. You're not gonna get that position, right? You're not gonna get that spot on the team. You have to be that extra. You have to be so obvious that, yeah, this guy is just better. You have to, man. And that talk is now completely gone. Oh yeah, look at that fig bat. I used to get 110 talk from teachers and once from a cop. Yeah, if you're black, you're fully aware of the 110% talk, man. This is something that, like I said, I don't give a fuck, white, black. I'll tell anybody, because now what you're seeing is, oops, I mean constable. What you're seeing now, though, Tim, is that, like, you're gonna have to get that way with just men, period. Because as you're seeing, white men are not getting jobs and they're getting looked over for promotions because of their cis white maleness, right?
Yeah, but the problem is the 110% rule doesn't work for them. Like
No,
they could be 200% better, they still won't get the job.
no, no, no. But here's the thing, though. It just depends on how you view that, right? You can either view that as a good thing or a bad thing. I view that as a good thing. Everything in life is all about perspective. So if you are a cis white male and you say, Drex, this isn't fair, I'm being looked over. Well, now you see what it's like to be a black guy in Jim Crow era, right? And they're like, well, shit, this sucks. What do we do? You divest, you segregate. This is what Malcolm X talked about: segregate. You say, okay, there's a system out here who doesn't respect me, doesn't love me, doesn't appreciate me and my talents and what I bring to the table. So you know what? Fuck them. Do for self. Divest. Take your knowledge, take your wisdom, take everything that you have.
Because remember, affirmative action always. Now, obviously, the Democrat version of affirmative action is the definition is whatever I need it to be to defeat my enemy. But the Canadian charter actually has a provision for affirmative action in it, unlike the American one. So that's why Texas is suing the diversity quotas for universities, for like University of Texas,
Mhm.
because it is discrimination by the letter of the law. Now in
Yeah.
Canada, you are allowed to discriminate to right perceived wrongs. Well, there might come a time where the diversity hiring quota is for cis white men. Now, of course, that's just a fantasy land. It's never going to happen because the left hates white people. They'll just change the wording or the laws or the definitions to, ingrain that hatred forever.
Well, let's face it. Think about one of the biggest fallacies that you can think of right now is that women always say women and minorities, right? But women are the majority. There's more women on earth than men. They're the majority. So what they did is they said that, oh, now it's about power. That's the same thing you heard about racism. Before it was about one thing, and then when that didn't work, they said, no, 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 it's actually about a power dynamic. And that's why you started hearing ignorant fucking black people pushed by German shepherds and beta male simp black folks, ignorant ass spooks, Negroes of that sort. And they said stuff like, black people can't be racist. That's where that rhetoric comes from. Just like it's like when you hear these feminist broads, how they will sit there and pretend that, you know, oh, well, I'm on the side of right, so I can just do anything I want, or I'm righting a wrong. And no, fuck that. Look, wrong is wrong, right is right. People know the difference. It's no different than someone said,
When is Migtown Industries going to start? And it only hires white cis males.
Well, here's the thing though. You'll always get in trouble if you actually hire that on paper. So that's why I said you have to recognize your inner self, right? Remember,
Yeah.
gender is a social construct, right?
Yep.
So gender is a social construct. So you are a masculine presenting transgender lesbian. You're not a man. I'm not a man. I don't identify as a man.
We only
So
hire masculine presenting transgender lesbians.
absolutely.
You get away
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
that. You might get away
So
with
then
that.
if someone comes and calls you a man, you can now go after them for discrimination.
Yeah. How dare you not
How
affirm
dare
my
you misgender
gender
me?
identity?
You yeah, you
How dare
went
you?
ahead and disrespected my gender identity. So yeah, fuck them.
I'm gonna file a human rights complaint against you. Bake my cake, bigot.
Absolutely. Oh, so I see Cooper just said something. He said starting in the Hispanic community, Drex. SoCal Mexicans are still joining the white women on arguing whether we should be Latinx or Latin E. Wow.
What
Look,
is
I'm gonna
Latin
tell you right
E?
now, man. If you're in California, you're already too late, man. It's over.
Yeah.
California's done.
We're just
It's
waiting for the
done.
earthquake now.
Yeah, just I mean, they should have done Arkham City to California. To me, like I said, anyone who is pro socialism, pro progressivism, like I said, let them stay in their progressive box.
Yep.
They should be allowed
They're
to
not allowed to
leave.
move.
Yeah, you're not allowed to leave. No, that's your box that you want because you're
Except
against.
Elon Musk, he's allowed to leave.
Well, yeah, remember that Elon Musk is not like he's not like one of those Californians, and remember the
Well,
company is there.
he
You
used
remember
to.
he moved the company I don't think anybody would ever consider Elon Musk a let's say a like a soy boy Californian socialist type of dude. I don't
Not a
think.
soy boy, but the height of Obama's green energy stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, he was lapping it all up.
Oh,
Now,
absolutely,
hindsight being 2020, we've discovered he was just cashing the checks. He actually didn't give a shit
absolutely,
about that stuff. But at the
absolutely.
time, it was like, I fucking hate this guy and his Tesla company taking all these green energy subsidies.
But he did what here's the thing. He did what most people would do in that scenario, right? Oh, the
Yeah, he
government's just
took
gonna
he
give
cashed
me
the check.
money?
He
Yeah,
cashed the
sure.
government check.
Yep. Oh, someone said, that's why he's trying to get out. What about Dick Mason? Yeah, man. But
Dick
here's the thing, though.
Masterson is welcome to come to Canada anytime he wants. Let's get him banned from another Commonwealth country.
But he's banned from where's he banned from?
He's banned from Australia.
Is he?
Yep.
Oh shit. What
So
the
he
fuck is he
tried to
banned
do a
for?
live show in Australia, and his visa was denied.
On what condition?
I don't know. Oh, no. So the actual story, he likes to, he plays it up. He likes to say that he's banned from Australia. He went through like a visa procurement service as well, and they took forever to process, and they did not process it until after the show. And then they're just like
Mm.
denied because you don't need it anymore.
Mm.
I don't actually know if he's banned from Australia. He hasn't tried to go back since. We don't know. But also for context, he tried doing the show like I think it was 3 weeks after the New Zealand mosque shooter.
I see.
Yeah, so they were kind of, they're a little sensitive about it. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
shit.
don't know if he's actually banned, but it's funny. It's funny to say,
It'd be
right?
kind of cool if he were though.
It would be
I
cool.
mean, dude, it's always cool when someone says like, "I've been banned from a country." Like that's actually pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's what Maddox used to say. Is he was banned like Apple? He was banned from Apple.
Wow.
You remember we talked about Maddox in the bonus episode with Nick and Ken?
Yeah, he's something else.
Yeah, so back then in the old days, see, he was one of my idols growing up because he was on the early days of the internet writing articles. I was like, shit, I agree with what this guy's saying.
Hmm.
Because he was like a counterculture guy. He hated what was popular. And Apple was very popular. So he'd shit on Apple all the time. And
Hmm.
then he said he snuck into an Apple store, snuck, air quotes, and tried to put his website on the Macs that they had on display, and it was blocked. And
Hmm.
it not only that, but it was domain blocked, so the error that the laptop got was 404, which means that the page does not exist. Anyways, as it turns out, he's not banned from Apple stores. They just have a filter on their firewall that says, "Look, no adult content websites," which Maddox's website would easily get classified under. Right? It's an adult website.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for kids. Therefore, it's for adults. So that's the story behind that. But getting banned from stuff is a good, and he did the show like this. We're talking early 2000s. He's writing these articles. He does the show with Dick Masterson, and he still brags about how he's banned from Apple. Because, like you said, it's cooler to be banned from something. Like, you get thrown out of a club, right, or a bar, and you're like, "Oh, I'm banned from a bar," as opposed to I broke a chair and I got kicked out.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds sexier. It sounds more provocative. That's why, yeah. When people say I was banned, like
You're
I
a
mean,
bad boy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can really play that up, and yes, I wouldn't blame someone for saying that. It's like, yeah, play it up. It is. I saw someone say something about the just like the China X, just like they've
China,
since
Chin
disconnected.
X.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't
right.
know. You're not allowed to call Chinese people chins.
Right? Yeah, yeah. They got something that goes with armor. They said they disconnected from Black community in general because of the fuckery that's been happening. Yeah, it's too bad, man. It's really too bad. Like it's coming for everybody, and one of the that's actually one of the reasons why I started the show was that to show people that like it's coming for everybody. Like it always frustrates me that people just stay with this whole tribal mentality of white people, black people, Asian people. It's like stop. Just what? And I talked about Phil and I talked about that yesterday. Like, what does it take for people for men? Because women only men can solve problems, and you just get to a point where like, why haven't you figured it out yet? Everyone's getting played, and they just keep reverting back to the racist shit. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I think that's going to do it for today. Any
good
closing
shit.
thoughts?
Other than, oh yeah, you know what? I didn't get a chance to properly go at these broads. Difference between Columbia and the German Shepherd, but I mean, guys out here should be able to figure out the difference, and that's what the pictures are for. Yeah, just know that if you guys want to see what real competition would look like, just go to some of these Latin American countries and then compare them. But make no mistake, leave these bras right where they fucking stand in their shithole countries. Do not take them back to the West into your nicer country
Yeah,
because you'll
don't
just end up
marry
being played.
them.
Yeah, do not marry them. Yeah, yeah, no, that marriage shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't
Cut
fall
all that
for the
off.
visa scam.
Yeah, yeah, the visa scam, or just go there, have your fun, and then return to base. Yeah, yeah, none of this simping shit.
Also, why do they call it a visa in the US? Canada just called permits. I think
Oh,
the
really?
same in the UK. I don't think that.
I actually think that sounds more appropriate, right? It's more apropos. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, just yeah. Thanks for everybody, because yeah, I don't think there's any like closing thoughts. I do think that's kind of weird though. That
Yeah,
it's
your
yeah visa.
H-1B1 visa in Canada, we just call that a temporary foreign worker permit.
Yeah, that actually sounds more yeah because you're being permitted into the country as a non-citizen to work.
Yeah. It's literally a
Yeah.
ticket. It's a stamp in your passport. It says, "Here's why you're allowed to be here."
Yep. Yeah. Right.
Anyways, well, everyone, I hope you enjoyed episode 8 of the Migtown podcast. Be sure to give a like, subscribe, send this to your mother, send it to Mama Vic. Leave a comment. You like it? You hate it? Do you have the hots for producer Tim? Let me know. These are questions that need to be answered.
Of course. Yeah, I'll be answered before episode 9 and before the goddess empress Kamala Harris basically censors everyone out of existence because that's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, the Eat Apocalypse.
Oh, it's about to get bad.
Yeah, we're working on getting a backup channel up on MGTOW.tv. We'll go join TFM over there. They just finished writing an API that allow me to auto clone the YouTube channel, so we should
That
have a
is good
backup
shit.
archive there. Again, free to access. We're not going to charge anyone money to view these regular episodes. They'll always be free.
Smooth.
Speech may not be free, but this show is. Until next time, everyone, stay frosty.
And yeah, so there is that. Yeah, have a good night, everybody. I was actually reading the chat just as we were signing off. But yeah, have a good one, everybody. We'll catch you for episode 9, man.